So, very good evening to all. And today we are here for the, uh, the launch of our AI Artificial Intelligence Journal. This initiative basically was taken by the team in the month of Jan. It was a sudden thought, and after a month of doing think tank activity and all, we basically from the Incube Foundation thought of actually coming up with a journal, but again, we didn't want to go in a traditional track of having a serious mode of journal and all. That is where our team actually had a lot of thought about which dimension or what would be our go-to-market strategy. And we had a lot of empathy for soil and incube ecosystem as a whole in the last 2 years, in fact, and our interactions with Generation Z, yeah, Gen Zs, those who are in the high schoolers, college, and university level. We understood their baseline. We really, got to know their baseline in terms of not just the technology, outside the technology and after their classrooms and all. So that is where we thought of launching a publication, but through the eyes of Gen Zs, and artificial intelligence, of course, is where Incube is primarily focusing on SaaS and AI models primarily, and this is where it all took shape. And thank you everyone for joining today's session in the very short notice, because we wanted to go very silent mode of launch. But again, I think around 3 p.m. I pinged Jay Garu and asked, like, shall we go ahead with a small launch meeting? Because team was actually requested for one. And I thought, okay, I need to check with sir. And thank you, sir, for actually saying a quick yes. And again, thank you, Hema ma'am, Karuna Garu, and Devi ma'am, for quickly responding to my request and actually, giving me this chair. So I would like to introduce our guest of honor here, starting with chief guest, Mr. J. Chaudhary Garu. Chaudhary Garu, actually, he's a well-renowned personality about in the technology, information technology sector to begin with, and then, of course, going into a lot of other streams. So the foundation laid by J. Chaudhary Garu in the form of Software Technology Parks of India in 1988, and today, in the last 2-3 decades, we see around 4+ million of direct workforce actually, having their livelihood in terms of technology and associated jobs and all, and and now he's today, and he was also the person behind Cyberabad, the high tech in the mid 90s, and of course, scaling it to Vizag and in Andhra Pradesh in the last term. And currently is associated with government of Tamil Nadu as a chief IT advisor, as well as India Blockchain Council. India Blockchain Council. Thank you, sir, for joining us here.
Thank you. Thank you, Satish.
Yeah, I'd like to quickly hear from you a few words, and we'll go with the launch, and then I'll go with introducing the other guests as well, because I do understand you're in a very emergency situation. So just
Sure.
change from on the go. So.
Srikanth, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to launch your e-journal on the artificial intelligence. It's a great initiative because today everything is around artificial intelligence and machine learning, whether it's for the school kids or for the professionals across the various sectors, whether it's a healthcare or biotechnology or farming or governance. Everywhere artificial intelligence is one of the most important tool. Everybody should know how to use that tool properly for getting the higher productivity, for getting the things done. At the same time, a lot of people are misusing artificial intelligence for various other things. I mean, that's where the journal like you have to bring the ethical AI. So how ethically AI can be used for what purposes, and how, I mean, this tool can be, like I keep telling, technology is a double-edged knife. One can cut the vegetables, or at the same time, one can kill the people. Similarly, any technology for that matter, it has got both sides. So similarly, AI, though it's very good as a productivity tool or analytic tools and all that. This at the same time, a lot of people are trying to misuse this kind of a powerful tool. So that's why the journal like yours, if you can bring the aspects of what is AI, how AI can positively be used, how AI should not be misused, what are the ethical issues in this thing with a lot of case studies and things like that. I think it's a great journey you have started with this e-journal on AI. It's going to be very, very useful for everybody. And try to bring the important case studies from across the globe. Within India itself, a lot of people are using AI. I think maybe you should get a lot of mentors and get their case studies published through this e-journal. I think it's a great tool, particularly since AI is getting adopted at school level itself. I think if you can have some journals, some topics of the journal addressed to the school segment, addressed to the engineering segment, addressed to the other the faculties of the engineering, and also the working professionals. I think it's a great benefit for the viewers of the journal. I wish the entire team of InCube for bringing this great initiative. I wish this initiative a grand success. I declare this a great launch. Srikanth, go ahead.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and say launch journal.
Yeah, launch
quickly
the
go.
journal, Srikanth. I urge you to launch this journal, and it has got a great this thing. Go ahead and launch the journal.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, it looks great.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
team was actually.
Particularly for students of Bharati University, where Professor Devi is the
Yes.
Dean of Academics. I think for the students, this kind of journal will be very, very useful.
Sure.
And you're happy to have the support from Bharati University also.
Sure, sir.
We'll just browse through a couple of pages, and then we'll continue with other guests actually sharing their views and perspectives and inputs towards this initiative. So as we actually kicked off the whole journey during the COVID crisis and all, and we heard a lot of things around us happening in the COVID situation. So this is where our team, one of the lab actually was also engaged in one of the AI-driven drug discovery efforts and all. So we picked the launch theme to be COVID-based theme. The reason is the world is now pre-COVID and post-COVID. We have a third meridian in place after, before Christ, after Christ, and now anti-meridian, whatever. And then now we have the post-COVID era coming into picture. So we are pretty much launching this journal in the post-COVID era once the lockdown is actually eased. And also our team has really worked on day and night. In fact, we are a distributed team, and starting with Kiran, editor-in-chief. She lives in San Mateo, US. And the other team, Mr. Subramanian Garu from Toronto is contributing from Toronto. And then, of course, Satya, the product owner, and other team members, actually. And we did onboard few interns, as this was, the favor was more from the Gen Z and all. We did partner with one of the schools where my son goes to. And, of course, Ms. Hema Garu, thank you so much, ma'am, for actually, carefully listening to my idea and entertaining, in fact, encouraging your students to participate in this pilot effort, without which I don't think we would have actually come up with those wonderful stories crafted by them, both Surya and Lokesh. So here are the Gen Z's contributors, Geeta, Surya, Pranav, and Lokesh, for our pilot edition. And they have really worked more than a month closely with the editorial team and crafting the stories, COVID digital, the autonomous vehicles, and a few other, the moral, ethical AI aspects and all. And finally, we are in a position to really launch this edition today because of all the contributions from everyone, direct, indirect, contributions from everyone. And our advisory team, we do have our advisory team here today, starting with Mr. Jay Garu and Karuna Gopal Garu. And Mr. Lamesh Loganathan Garu, he couldn't join today because he did mention he had some other conflict, another conflict with a meeting. Karuna Gopal Garu, I'll just go with introducing Karuna Gopal Garu, and she's been actively engaged in the future with the smart cities design, and she's been engaged with the government of India for quite some time, for the last 1.5 decade. And she's a keynote speaker and represented India in various international formats, starting with UN and in the UAE prime ministerial delegations as such. And thank you, ma'am, for being part of our team and giving us directions now and going forward this journey. And Mr. Ramesh Loganathan Garu he was with industry for almost 2.5 decades, and then he chose to be an academician, now full-time academician with IIT. He's moved into full-time academic world, but he was also heading the Hyderabad Software Export Association in the last as the president of the organization, and was associated with NASCOM and other bodies as well. So this is the team. We are a real good mix of those involved from the technology as well as the policy makers. Karuna Garu, of course, being a major actively engaged in BJP, the ruling party of the country, of course, and today, and into the manifesto. So we do have the policy makers, we do have the stalwarts from technology, from industry, as well as academic who are guiding the young minds. And we do have more interns working. Actually, I don't have the chance to really introduce them now, but maybe in the subsequent editions, you get to hear from them and read their stories and their research-based outcomes, their observed imitation and innovation activity in terms of the storytelling. The hardcore research, what they're going to do, and various functions and various live streams, which is going to be published through our journal. So, and these are the high-level stories which I leave, to the audience. They can browse through the website. So we got the moral thing, as Jay Garu has mentioned. Ethical AI, because AI can be misused and it can lead to a lot of disasters. And I'm surprised with the kind of integrity and the morality existing in the Gen Z generation out of their interactions and all, and the kind of concern they really have towards actually inculcating these aspects within them, and of course into the cognitive machines as such. So this is amazing, and we did cover a lot of other areas, that airline, the autonomous vehicles, which is going to the future of our mobility. I'm equally excited to actually see those vehicles operating in this part of the world as well very soon. And of course, the programming language and all, we're all aware of Python being the highly, the demanding skill as of now. But what after Python? We had real good perspective from one of the contributor from US, you, and we did have real good interactions with him, and the story was carved really good. And of course, SaaS is the next big market, at least to begin with in India, and we want to really give that kind of picture of a story which happened in the last decade in US, and how it really evolved in the scale of the market, and how it can really adapt to Indian market, and what kind of opportunities really exist in the cross-section of AI and SaaS. So the pilot or the launch version is basically a mix of all the and all the live streams that we could cover in the last 2 months. And we do have a very good story bank shaping up, I could say proudly, because of the efforts from all the team members. I'm sure we will be able to deliver real good content, the brain food, or as I say always, the food for the brain is always knowledge, and the intellectual inputs, which really stretches and gives new shape to our muscle every day, and that is very important. And I'm glad this generation, the Gen Z generation, is really inclined towards such efforts. And I am really lucky, and the team is really lucky to get involved and work with them on a day-to-day basis towards these efforts and all. And apart from that, yes, we do have oil and other launches coming soon. want to now, of course, but we are coming up with a cloud campus, an after-school cloud campus offering for Gen Zs exclusively, where the top cream of students, not based on the marks and grades, of course, but based on their passion, commitment, and current innovation efforts that they are involved into, which never took a limelight on the main stage, maybe because they don't want to be in the employment zone. We want to actually pick those best talent, like how we're doing the storytelling exercise for AI Journal. We want to actually get them involved in our DX labs and other efforts through Soil, and exclusively, restricting it to 13 to 21 years and taking it forward to that. So we can expect another launch if as such, maybe by the end of this month or early July for Soil, and I hope that will be in-person launch event rather than a virtual event. Uh, so this is how we are heading forward, and how COVID digital, COVID has really shaped, and these are the stories which the team has really carved out of very good relevant research happening on a day-to-day basis, keeping eye on those details coming from every other part of the country, the world, and all, and finally presenting it to the world through our journal. So that's about the effort brief. I know it was long, but still in brief. And these are the other efforts happening within the Incube ecosystem where Gen Z will get involved. Machine learning or the AI-driven drug discovery plans, genomics, and those efforts, the soil biome, the identifying the soil biome, and then coming up with those precision agriculture factors and all. And of course, Botpourri is one of my favorites, as I could discuss it another as well. This is where we work more on those, starting with interactive bots, chat bots, automation that can take place, getting the business process and workflows. This was always a corporate game. Now, after COVID, every school, every college is now going in the virtual mode, and we can't expect consultants to come and actually create all those automation in the campuses. Maybe your students are your consultants, or your workforce are going to take care of those automation efforts for their class within their classrooms, as well as maybe at the classroom at the campus level. So Bot Buddies is one such initiative within Incube ecosystem, and Bot Buddies team is actually doing a lot of process automation and creating those storyboards for AI Journal as well. I'd love to share more details on that. Once we have the real curation and other boards in place, where the team is really engaged, and we do have interns and other participants working from the top-notch institutions, tier one institutions like Carnegie Mellon, IITs, as well as tier two and tier three institutions in the country. So we're not. The beauty here is we're not basically distinguishing or discriminating, just between any tier institutions. It's just the top cream. They might have missed the vehicle of getting into IITs or any other top cream institutions when they were young and all, but it doesn't really disqualify them to get into such kind of efforts. So this is where we're picking the best talent from across the country to begin with, and maybe eventually from across the world into the Soil campus, and then make it a worldwide, a global online campus, a horizontal campus for all the existing schools and universities where the best talent can come and get involved. So this is all about our journal goal, and all those stories will from the labs and lab-based efforts are again assets which will get published through our AI journal. So we took this approach in the lines of the existing MIT, Harvard, Stanford, and they do have their own publication houses. So I know, I mean, we started now and we're still small, nascent stages, and we're just figuring out and all. Still, we wanted to have an authentic publication house which could publish, the internal efforts and the internal outcomes and all. One of the intern, Meghna, she's working on a COVID post-mortem economic analysis, and she's trying to build a machine learning model, based on for the unemployment stats within USA and all, based on the previous data and the kind of trends which emerged during that time. So just waiting, we're such kind of stories to be published, and all coming from the high school and the university student. This is more exciting. We heard these coming from the industry experts, from the research, all, but now through the lens of Gen Z, of course, we get to see some kind of a tangential move, at least to begin with, and which could foray them or give them real good opportunities to get into the mainstream careers in the near future. So, and we do accept, we have this program for accepting submissions even from outside the ecosystem. Editorial team works on internal stories as such, of course, crafting them internally, the editorial stories or the topics as such, and series of stories autonomously.
Congratulations, Srikanth, for bringing excellent e-journal on the artificial intelligence. And I would like to congratulate the entire editorial team. I think they have really come with excellent content. Before I log off, Srikanth, I have one request to you. This e-journal will have active links where they can actually go to different other relevant topics through the e-journal instead of just, a static kind of a e-journal. Is that possibility? Is already this feature is available in your journal?
Yes, videos are there.
The voice is breaking.
Are you able to get my message, Srikanth?
I'm able to hear you now, sir. There was some lag in between.
Okay. So basically, I was asking whether you have all the relevant links. Suppose somebody wants to find out, say, XYZ company in the artificial intelligence. Those complete details need to be put in the journal. But you can provide the necessary links. From that links, you can, if you want to go into more depth in that particular area, you should be able to get onto this thing. And also for the students, both at the class level, as a school level, and the college level, if you can provide some active links, very informative links, where they don't have to really search for every time to get some basic information or advanced information. Those links also you can provide as a standard reference kind of a thing, what to read and what are the topics kind of a thing, so that at one place they can actually, whether professionals wants to know what's happening in the ethical AI. For example, somebody who is looking for a job opportunity in the AI, the job opportunity section, you can deep dive into that and get more information, this thing. So that kind of information if you can provide, and I think that will be very, very useful tool for all the viewers.
Definitely, sir. Yeah, we do have those plans as suggested by you earlier. So maybe in the subsequent, editions and all, we will add more sections relevant to the job opportunities, relevant to these the companies or the new product-based companies or the startups as well, who are actually whose DNA is basically based on the AI front and all. So we'll get to introduce those startup stories, those founder stories, and of course their product stories were already into the market, and which will really give a connect for the youngsters to actually understand the real happening. So it's more like the curated fashion. We're going to do that, and thanks for those inputs. We'll make note of these.
Yeah, just one more suggestion before I log off. Since it is a AI journal, you should be able to collect the data from the viewers, and you should do your own artificial intelligence search, how the viewers are liking XYZ topics, whether they, how many people are viewing, which one is getting more interest, this thing. Based on your own AI, you should be able to really create more reliable and needed content rather than just keep pushing the content, because today there's a lot of content available on the net. I think you should go for a smart content based on the feedback coming from the viewers, which you can do some artificial intelligence tool to find out what my viewers are liking, and based on that you can reposition the content going forward. So with this, I once again congratulate the entire team, Srikanth and your editorial team. You have done a great job. I think it will be very, very useful for the youth, not only youth, for everybody, including people like me. And definitely this kind of a journal, particularly in the light of the COVID situation, where we can't go and attend the classes and all that. That's where this kind of rich information available through the e-journal, that's be a great tool in the hands of the people. So I wish you all the success. Since I am in my
Thank
village,
you so
I have
much.
to take care of my mother. My mother is not doing well. I will log off from here.
Sure, sir. Yeah, thank you so much for joining and for all your support, sir.
Thank you. All the best.
Yeah, have a good evening, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Actually, in fact, all my other honorary guests for actually waiting for Mr. Jayagar to finish. So I think we have presented the whole gist of Incube and AI Journal, where it fits, and the kind of efforts as such. So I request my guest of honors to actually take the stage now on, and I would like to start off with Karuna Gopal Garu. I'd like to give a quick introduction of so Karuna Gopal Garu has been associated. She's been a keynote speaker on the international fronts, and of course, she's the founder of the Foundation of Futuristic Cities, working on smart cities and the smart life aspects, making the life easier in the urban landscapes, not just within India, even outside India, and Singapore, Malaysia, and almost like 10 to 15 countries, to my knowledge. And she's an active politician, I should say, probably from BJP, and involved in the manifesto formation as well as the other initiatives, outside the urban development sector as well. So thank you for joining us, ma'am, and we'd like to hear from you.
First of all, let me congratulate you, Shrikant. Am I audible?
Thank you.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So let me congratulate you and your team for the great effort. As I mentioned earlier to you, I like the way your journal got structured and the contents as well. Before I say a few words, I'm just looking at co-creating the future. That's how you ended it, right? So, yeah. Now, let me say that this was my tagline when I started my foundation in 2005, 17 years ago, co-creating the future. And in fact, that has been also adopted by Government of India as a part of the Smart Cities Protocol, co-creation. Very critical, very important. It was relevant then, and it's relevant even today. So
yes, it's a relevant tagline always, actually. So we are taking that forward from your generation, in fact. So thank you about it.
Stay with that. Just quickly, a few things that come to my mind. You have chosen artificial intelligence, which is becoming such an important thing for the entire world. If you really analyze the AI policies of different countries, you'd know the kind of importance they're giving to AI. For instance, I have been closely watching different countries and where they would like to invest in AI and what sectors are their preferred sectors for them. For instance, look at USA and China. They want to invest in military. Take UK and Canada, very heavily investing in healthcare. They want to look at AI very closely as far as healthcare is concerned. Look at Japan and Singapore. They're looking at bringing in efficiencies, workforce efficiencies. As you know, that human capital is very, very critical for Japan and Singapore. The way they treated their people or built their resources. Look at Germany. Germany started looking at work-life balance in the recent years. France, AI policy is directed towards environment. I know what they have done in France and worked quite closely with them as well. Look at UAE. UAE, for some of you who've been following the development, they want to look at AI for bringing in government efficiencies. And come to India. India, we are looking at AI for a very important area called inclusion. Now, this word inclusion is a very pervasive word. So it is all encompassing. It can mean healthcare for India, education, disability, job creation, most importantly, you have seen our Honorable Prime Minister seeking solutions from people like you, AI solutions to kind of deal with the COVID calamity that we are facing. So AI is very important as far as India is concerned. And I also saw one of the articles on ethical aspects of AI, which I'm sure that India especially needs to look at that. I remember writing an article about, I think, a year and a half ago when Niti Aayog spoke about taking AI very seriously in India, and also saying that India should become a test bed for AI. So that's where I cautioned Niti Aayog that test bed is very important. Test bed can also mean many things in a negative way. So we have to be extremely careful about how we deal with AI, the multiple dimensions of it. So I also tend to believe it has a third dimension, which I spoke about when I was invited by the Prime Minister of UAE. It's available on the internet right now. I don't want to explain about it. It's not just a double-edged sword, but there's a third dimension to that as well. So one important thing I'd like to say before I just congratulate you guys all over again. I have seen that several times when you look at technologies, it's very easy to be blown away by the potential technologies have. So several times AI has been looked at only as something that is extremely capable of changing, transforming lives. But the application part, several times I see that the application part gets neglected. So I hope that your journal will pay a lot of attention on the application areas, like where is it really relevant? Can we apply it in agriculture? And if so, how? What could be potentially the case studies? I have seen several AI solutions being dumped by several vendors into the country because they thought they were valuable in some other parts of the world. Several solutions are not really valuable here. I mean, I've tested them here and I've seen them working quite famously in other parts of the world. So if your journal has to have subscription from the government, government bodies, people like us, then you need to get extremely practical in addressing those issues. What works for India? So India-centric case studies, India-centric hurdles. For instance, when you are actually deploying technologies, the kind of issues that we face, I have been in this space for a very long time. And I know the domain issues have to be understood before a technological solution is superimposed on to a certain domain or a discipline. So several examples can be given by practitioners. So I suggest that you speak to certain practitioners who have tried them, deployed them, encountered those issues and how they could solve along the way. Then your journal becomes more and more relevant for practical application, not only for the next generation, but also seniors like us who've been in the system wanting to deploy solutions and scale to the entire country. So get practical, get relevant, get India-centric, collect as much as practical knowledge and know-how. And I think that's when you really make it and crack it in this business. So congratulations and God bless.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And yes, definitely we will take all your suggestions and based on these inputs and all, our team will definitely take these forward and we'll be able to showcase some terrific outcomes in terms of India-centric innovation-based stories evolving in the near future, and those core business cases and all as we discussed earlier as well, specific to the verticals and specific to the portfolios and those departments as such within India. Because I do resonate with the statement of yours that the real practical implementation is totally different from speaking and Journal, of course, our effort is more to bring the awareness and create the right mindset, which eventually will drive them towards gaining the right skills and gaining the competency by getting involved in the works. Because practically implementing things on the ground at the grassroots level, things are different from how we envision a roadmap on the paper as such. So, and our team of the editorial team, since they all have real good experience, starting with Subramanian Garu, who just retired from ITC, and almost 3+ decade of large-scale project implementation experiences, and then Kiran being a Six Sigma consultant, black belt certified consultant as such. How things really get to the real refinement as such. Of course, myself into large-scale digital transformation efforts, Usha into those lab-based research efforts, and then evolving into a core transformational consultant as such. And Satya, the big man, our product owner, who has got the core business intelligence, enabling business intelligence for US government and those retail clients in the last decade as such. So the team, the leadership team of Journal, of course, since everyone has really got those ground level experience, and now getting into the publishing arena, for sure, we're going to pay real attention to those aspects. And thank you so much for those words and your encouragement, madam. And I'll love then move to our next guest, Hema Surapneni Garu. Thank you for joining, ma'am. And Hema Garu, actually, personally, I respect her a lot because I have a personal connect as well because of my son Krish attending her school, and the kind of, I almost get to see her not every day, but at least once in a while, and I do understand the way the primary school and the high school level, what kind of initiatives and what kind of commitment they're taking in order to shape the next generation for the future of any nation, in fact. And thank you so much, ma'am, for being a very strong support to all our initiatives. And Hema Garu actually is the principal of Epistemo Vikas Leadership School now, and she is playing an eminent role in the IB and IGCSE curriculum design globally, and she represents the IB curriculum schools from India. And to my knowledge, she's the one who introduced the Cambridge curriculum in this territory of India, and which now scaled to around 50 schools, I guess. So over to you, ma'am. Thanks for joining, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Srikanth, and having me along with Jay Chaudhary Garu and Mrs. Karuna Gopal and many other eminent speakers. Sharing space with them is really a privilege, and thanks for allowing me to join, and congratulations on the launch of this journal. And I think I should be talking a little bit about Srikanth Alluri. Last year when I met him, he was full of ideas, and he would just, he's a packet of energy, I can say, bubbling with so many ideas. He would just float ideas, and then by the time I would comprehend one particular idea, he would just move on to another, and this would just get expired. So I would really have tough time understanding, how you can imagine so many things and, give shape to that. But luckily, he's got a very, very enthusiastic team, which is grasping. I think by the time the idea comes in, they just grasp and then, give it a shape and a structure and a frame. And, this particular idea just steps out of the shadows into reality. For me, it's all abstract, but then he makes it work and it shows me a concrete picture. So it is amazing. He just is a wonder point for me. And the kind of flexibility he has working from 15 years below to I think 50 plus above, and with ease, I can say, and with ease, and he accommodates a lot of things where the time is no constraint, age group is not constrained. He just moves on very comfortably with the little kids. So I think his journal speaks a lot about what he exactly is with a person with compassion and empathy, I can say that. And he has covered a wide range of topics, I would say. AI is one bit, and AI is like, we have been doing a lot of study and digging going deep into this AI, how it can help us for this online teaching and learning that we have taken it up recently. Assessment was a big a problem for us. It was creating a void in the online teaching and learning, and AI gave a solution to this. So I have been into reading a lot into this AI, how it can actually help us, like how Mrs. Karuna Gopal just mentioned that it helps in inclusion. Yes, it helps us to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the children, how to handle the special education and children with who are differently enabled and all that. So when I've seen so much of application that we can see and happen in education, it was amazing. Yes, it is definitely a double-edged sword, or you can say it is a necessary evil, but we have to welcome it with open arms because things are moving at a fast pace, and I don't want education to lag behind. So now we can see it's a application coming out very online teaching and learning processes. So when he actually came to me saying that, you know, I would like to take certain interactive sessions with your students on entrepreneurship and innovative labs and incubation labs and all, I really was wondering how he would connect to my little kids of 13, 15-year-old. But I was amazed at the way the whole thing went off. They were just talking like old buddies. And they were so comfortable children, and he just suddenly announced that I want some interns from your school. I said, whoa, this is like too much. And what will my kids do about such a university level, or, you know, as a high level learning and incubation labs, and, you know, so much that was going on. But they fit into the system so well. He made our students so comfortable that I can see that he has woven magic, I should say. He's brought out so much out of these little kids, and the kids who were talking about grades and marks and all that now start talking about great innovations, ideas. Amazing. They've just moved out of this kind of their comfort zone, going out and doing so much talking. It's like, you know, I can say that I've been introduced to a new world. My children have introduced me to a new world. They can do wonders. Sky is the limit. And I think, Srikanth, you and your team has paved way to this great thinking. You know, it is like we think of innovative thought process, but then I can see children getting into action, hands-on. So that was actually very impressive. And this particular journal, when I have gone through right from scheme of colors to the flow of language and the kind of concepts that you have touched upon, comprehensive, I think holistically you have covered upon a lot. And when I was reading through Python, and when I see my students doing the Python language, and then they're so excited about it, and then you're talking about expiry date here, I suddenly felt I belong to a dinosaur age where Python is getting expired, and what will my kids do? We have to like move on a faster pace to catch up with the latest innovations and what's happening in technology and this machine learning and all that. And the most beautiful thing you have touched upon is the meme corner and the board buddies, the meme corner, where you have looked into a wide range of I think subscribers or readers, where, you know, you have something a little for everybody. I felt it's kind of a balanced meal, or it's a kind of a spread of a buffet where, you know, we could read even a person like a high school teacher, to a student, to a parent, to, you know, whether a politician, anybody. You have, you know, little bit served for everybody. You've just catered to all kinds of readers. That is the beautiful thing. And I will congratulate your team, who's amazing. You know, they just create that ecosystem, and I can see a lot of joy and fun way of working with you around your team members. And during this COVID times, we have seen a lot of these organizations actually hibernating, but you have taken an active role, and just launching this particular journal is not a joke, I would say. So congratulations to you and your team. And I'm really privileged to have you as a parent, where I can see that I'm taking a lot of your support, and you're extending this support to our children as well. So me and my kids, we are really like, you know, honored to have you or introduced to you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to many more launches and soil and many more of your projects, I would say. By the time I just bat my eyelid, you just come out with another project. So I wish you all the best. So more and more programs to be launched and more journals to be published. Thank you, and wish you and your team all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. You made our day actually with your kind words and those appreciation. So, yes, all your students have actually, taken me back into me. In fact, all the team members. Satya is the one primarily gets to interact with them on a day-to-day basis. He is not an easy person to deal with when it comes to the perfection. We call him as the Mr. Perfect. Okay, Mr. Perfectionist. So, your students have actually taken us back to our teens. That's what and we really loved working with them, learned a lot from their perspectives and how they actually think. Surya, Lokesh, and the kind of thought process they are having, the kind of ideas, as you mentioned, I come up with ideas. They are no less than, anyone of us, in fact. And Lokesh, he was discussing about creating an augmented brain where he wants to load balance our, brain activity to an artificial brain which sits somewhere in the cloud or maybe at home and does our job for us. So these are the kind of thought process and ideas they're coming up with. And of course, Surya more focused on the moral, ethical aspects, and he was drilling more into the MIT's, the moral machine, and how its applications were going into being into these autonomous vehicles, and all those things. So there was a lot of learning for us. In fact, the team as such, in terms of these conceptual things, understanding the new things, comprehending them, and again putting them back, weaving them into a new story, and presenting it to the ease. And of course, we those ideas and all, from about the memes and all, of course, from your students, few of them from your students, and all the quick-wittedness and those sarcastic things and all with respect to COVID and how we perceive machine learning and all. They are all icebreakers, of course, but we did go through such kind of things in the childhood in terms of the cartoons, and also we will continue to add more such lighter vein elements and all, where the journal doesn't sound very monotonous in terms of just the subject and all. It's everything kind of thing. So thank you so much, ma'am. And I think I'll move to our next guest, Dr. Devi Garu. Thank you for waiting, ma'am, and accepting to join us in the last, just like in just 1 or 2 hours of notice. And Dr. Devi Garu is currently the head of computer applications, for the Bharatiya University ecosystem, which is a large-scale ecosystem of, the main university as well as the affiliated college network, from Coimbatore. And Dr. Devi Garu has her PhD from Warwick, University of Warwick. And I did had a lot of real good interactions with her in terms of, the projects and the research, kind of research she was into, and having worked for Rolls-Royce in mid 90s and coming up with very innovative, cutting-edge solutions. Just one-man show, and coming up with those and surprising the leadership at Rolls-Royce, and also they were something amazing. And in those days specifically, where we were still looking to actually upgrade ourselves in the the aerospace division as such. So thank you for joining, ma'am, and over to you. We would like to hear.
Respected Srikanth Garu, Madam Karuna, Madam Hema, Madam Usha, and all other participants, very good evening. And I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Chaudhary Garu to introduce to various CEOs, CTOs, and eminent people. And Soil School of Innovation and Leadership, when I asked for the biodata of Mr. Srikanth some 10 days ago, looking at the word soil, I thought it is a biology organization. But when I went, it is so amazing. In each and everything that you frame, you apply your heart and soul. I can see that. It is School of Innovation and Leadership. First of all, hearty congratulations for bringing such a wonderful journal, Artificial Intelligence. And I was carried away by the Gen Z's contribution at the Meet the Crew, the page what we are seeing now. I went through the small videos by Surya, Geeta, and Lokesh. they are the future pillars of our globe. So like whenever we take any journal, no, immediately we will have great professors writing the articles, latest innovations. Uh, the soil is more important, the roots, or these people are very important. The young generation who are in school and just in college are very, very important. So you have brought them at the right place. And as a teacher, I request you to give me some 5 to 7 minutes. During this session, I have just prepared a quick PowerPoints, just few slides
Sure, ma'am.
to share it
Just give me one.
with the team. Quickly, I'll go through. I'll take 3 to 4 minutes on the slides, not more than that. Most of the ideas what Mr. Srikanth is having is aligning. Sometimes for good things, God sends good people at the right time. That is what is happening for me now. We are preparing curriculum 4.0 and 5.0 for aligning the education with industry 4.0 and 5.0 under the leadership of Professor P. Kaliraj sir, who is the current Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bharatiya University, who was the former Vice Chancellor of Anna University, Chennai. And there is a big team working in reframing the curriculum. And Industry 4.0 is all about the digital transformation tools like IoT. Artificial intelligence plays very, very important role here. And people are trying to move the education to the global level. So globalization, digital transformation is the Tarak mantra. We are trying to build intelligent information society through smart cities, smart cars, whatever is there, we are trying to bring in smartness through artificial intelligence. And we are all living in a volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world. We do not know when we are going to meet our students face to face, when they are going to come to the classrooms. And when we are talking about education 4.0, some people are talking about education 5.0 because quantum computing is emerging. And I'm doing this work for the last 4 months. Why I want to say this is, among all these tools we have put, artificial intelligence need to be introduced in all departments. Because this big data and data analytics can be in commerce, business, and computer applications, but intelligence need to be given to science, social science, education departments, and technology departments. So this AI is playing a very important role. And whenever there is a word automation, then artificial intelligence is there. And wherever there is artificial intelligence, the data is the backbone. And that is playing a very, and we use the simple term artificial intelligence, and we just listed what are all the courses that we can offer to the students. We have listed some 30 courses. The list is enlarging. Why I'm showing all this is I need Mr. Srikanth's support to build a portal where we can give more knowledge to the teachers and students for reading material on these courses. And there are plenty of courses, speech processing, natural language processing, AI in healthcare, AI in finance and economics, AI in automobile, knowledge management, and bio-inspired computing. We have strong experts in our department in bio-inspired computing and evolutionary computing. And we have tied up with UiPath for process automation. We are being trained. I request Mr. Srikanth to join hands with Bharatiya University and UiPath to conduct a competition for Coimbatore, Tirupur, Nilgiri based students to identify the innovative students and to inspire them so that they will be future entrepreneurs.
Definitely, ma'am. Yeah.
And design thinking is a very, very important area. And when we look at the skills, what are needed for the future students, we should train them on critical thinking. We should train them on emotional intelligence, critical judgment. All these are related to intelligence, artificial intelligence, negotiation, cognitive flexibility, knowledge production and management. I was asked to look at jobs 2030. When we look at the jobs that are existing in data analytics today, they were not existing 5 years ago. So it is very difficult to predict what will be the jobs in 2030. When I was looking at Google for information on this, I came across a very interesting report by McKinsey Global Institute's report in 2017, which says that, see, this blue represents the automation. In pharmaceutical research and development, 96% can be automated. In automotive design, redesign, 86% can be automated. In marketing, 90%. Oil and gas, 85%. Why I'm bringing this slide is, wherever there is automation, artificial intelligence plays an important role. So the next issues of artificial intelligence can look at these verticals and give some inputs to the students on combining artificial intelligence and these verticals. But one good thing is, in teaching, only 20% can be automated. So we teachers and our jobs are very safe.
Yeah.
And in 2030, in India, doctors, therapists, healthcare employees, jobs will be more needed. The demand will be more.
Yes.
And old age people will be more. So more people, like more tools for taking care of the aged people, where intelligence play an important role, will be very, very useful. And mathematics, especially linear algebra, and psychology plays a very important role in intelligence. We can ask mathematicians and psychologists to contribute some articles. Everything is so well thought. And the light that you are lighting today through AI Journal will light the life of so many young generations. Congratulations. And let this AI Journal come out with flying colors. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words and those triggers, actually, and the stats and the kind of opportunities which are existing in the AI space. So whenever somebody asks me like what exactly is AI, I just tell them it's software 2.0, nothing beyond that. So all these years we have laid the ground floor, foundation and the ground floor, and now this is the first floor or the next floor that we are actually laying on the existing, digital landscape. So your triggers and those triggers based on the stats and specific to each industry, specific to each vertical, and how the opportunities exist and all. These are something which eventually we would love to publish and give such kind of information and throw light in these areas where people get to know, okay, why should I take these courses?
Shrikant, can I say something? Shrikant?
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Shrikant, 8 o'clock I have.
Sure, ma'am.
So it's already, I'm running a little late. Can I leave?
Yeah.
How long will this take? Because
we're almost done, ma'am. I just thought of introducing our, the leadership team here. We'll quickly wrap it up in just 2 minutes from now.
don't rush for me, but I can leave. Introduce your team. I'd like to see them.
All right. So I'll start with our product owner, Mr. Satya Harish. Satya, you here?
Hello all. It's a great privilege to be actually in this meeting, to be on the same, hello all. I'm the product owner of this colorful journal. I'm a decade plus business intelligence analyst, now turned UI UX enthusiast, and currently working on the AI Journal initiative. Trying to do the digital transformation effort through AI Journal, a multimedia platform that kind of converges the Gen Z's thoughts and ideas towards the veterans and industry experts' ideas for a human-centric approach for any development and redesign effort that goes forward. So that's a short introduction for myself. Thank you all.
Yeah.
I hope my video is visible.
There's a problem with your video, Satya.
Yeah, bear with me. There's some glitch happening, so yeah. Sorry about that.
to hear you.
Yeah. All right.
I'd like to introduce Usha, who is the strategy leader for Journal and as well as who heads Soil, School of Innovation and Leadership. So, Usha, over to you.
Hello, everyone. It's a great opportunity to be here along with all your dignitaries, and we are more than happy to have you here today. And
You're not audible, Usha. You're not audible.
Audible? Okay. Just give me a second. Let me try this.
So just be a bit louder. That should be enough. So.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everyone. And it's a great honor to be here along with all of you dignitaries on the same platform. And we are very happy to launch the AI Journal today amongst you. And we are excited, and we'll soon see you again to launch the Soil Campus. And we have more in store, like Hema Madam just said. We have a box of plethora of innovations going on under here, and then we'll be more than happy to share them all with you.
All the best.
Yeah, all the best. God bless.
So I would like to add one thing about Usha heading Soil, of course, and one of the study using AI for the COVID drug discovery. This is with a global team spread across 3 different countries, US, India, and Singapore. So they are doing considerable progress, and thank you, Dr. Devi Garu, for actually giving us a few good resources to start working with us in the molecular design aspects and all.
Yes.
And Kiran being in San Mateo and the last minute rush and all, we couldn't accommodate her time because she's actually working for Bio-Rad as a program head. So our editor-in-chief is missing a launch event, but basically that's where I got into her shoes of the keynote speaker as such. We do have Mr. Subramanian Garu, as I mentioned, from Toronto, and due to time lag differences and all, we couldn't really have them in this session. Hopefully, we'll get them to see in the Soil launch session very soon, and I think we'll pretty much we've covered everyone and everything. And thanks a lot to everyone, all the honorary guests, for taking time and joining us, and for all your best wishes and the support. And please continue to render your support to our team. And I'm sure from Incube ecosystem Journal is going to be that stage where each of us will have an opportunity to actually showcase our innovative outcomes. And India specifically, yes, in this decade, I'm sure we'll be able to showcase and make India the center of all the digital innovations and the product-based economy, which will eventually, become a super nation and take control over the global economy. And let's hope and let's work towards the direction. And hopefully, in the coming decade, we'll be able to, crack that super nation thing. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Best and congratulations.
Bye bye.
Again,
Congratulations. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.